This year promises to be our most exciting year so far in our journey to reawaken Château de Pernon. Will it be the year that we can finally say we saved the chateau? Our artisans return from the Christmas holidays today to a white landscape and the thermometer at -5 degrees Celsius. This week, come with us as we start the year with a tour of some of the projects you can expect to see at Château de Pernon over the next 12 months.
The highest priority is finishing the works on the exterior of the chateau, and that means laying the last of the slate tiles on the chateau's magnificent roof. It means completing the stonework around the basement. It means finishing the work on Pernon's bridge, and finally completing the work here at the front of the chateau on the terrace. And when that work is all finished, we can finally take down the last pieces of scaffolding on the chateau. And it means that we'll be seeing Château de Pernon for the first time, the way she would have looked at the end of the 18th century when she was first constructed, almost 250 years ago.
And it will be the first time in 4.5 years that Château de Pernon doesn't have scaffolding sitting over her facades. But let's go and have a look around the back. Well, one of the most anticipated projects of this year is going to be the return of Pernon's sublime lions to once again look out over the Chateau Park. The lions are currently in the workshop of our sculptor, and we cannot wait to share this journey with you.
What a milestone that'll be.
Yeah. Carved in stone, facing outwards, the Chateau lions had been weathered by the centuries. Crumbling and falling apart when we arrived, the fate of the lions was uncertain. Last year, the lions were demounted and taken to the workshop of a local artisan to be replicated. The return of the lions will be a significant milestone in our quest to reawaken this incredible domain.
Soon work will commence on the restoration of Pernon's dry moat wall on the western side. You can see the disconcerting bend in the wall, and if we don't set to work on restoring this soon, it will collapse. At the same time, we can work on a parking solution for the chateau, and this is something that's been needed here for decades.
And there's one more project here on the outside to show you before we head inside.
Let's go and take a look.
Well, we had hoped to start the restoration of Pernon's 1812 gates before our wedding in summer last year. It wasn't to be, things got a little too busy, but once our stonemasons have completed the work on the restoration of the western side of the dry moat wall, they can finally commence the restoration of Pernon's 1812 gates.
Now let's go and check out some of the projects inside the chateau.
Yeah, at least we'll be warm there.
The biggest project here at the Chateau this year will be the restoration of these rooms. on the ground floor of the western wing of the chateau. And we can't wait to share with you each step in the reawakening of this wing of the chateau. You'll see the transformation of the antechambre, you'll see the restoration of the grand salon with all its wonderful decorative features. You'll see the restoration of this room, which started life as a trick-track room, a game that was very popular in the 18th century, a bit like the game of backgammon. It became a salon de musique, and in the 20th century, this room was used as a library. You'll see this small maid's room here, hidden at the top of this staircase. And we can't wait to share with you our plans for this tiny historic space in the chateau. You'll see the restoration of these wonderful 18th century hand block painted wallpapers. And this room, it used to be a bedroom, and we can't wait to find what's behind these fabric wall coverings that were installed in the 20th century.
Well, it is so toasty warm here in Pernon's new library. We cannot wait to share with you the completion of this room. The final touches are being put in place at the moment. This has been a room that has been 2 years in the making, or over 2 years in the making. Really, it has been a long process, but it's looking really wonderful, and it is so close to being completed now.
And I can't wait to see the books in their new home. But let's pick up on a project that we left you with at the end of last year. So just before Christmas, our carpenters were having enormous difficulties installing this window here. So our carpenters were to have installed the restored window in this window alcove here this week. It's probably the most difficult window for them to install at the chateau, and that's because the window alcove is traversed by the staircase. Now, they arrived on Monday, they had the restored windows with them, but try as they might, they just couldn't fit them in. And the reason why is there's been some significant deformation in the window frame itself. So they've had to take the windows away, they've had to remove the window frames, take them back to the workshop to be reworked and fully restored. Well, they've been back and they've now got it in place. But there are lots of other windows around the chateau that are in the process of being restored, and in the coming weeks they'll be returning.
Come in and look at this room. We haven't shown you this before. This is our future tisanry here on the first floor. It used to be a bedroom for a senior staff member here at the chateau, but it's going to be a space where family and friends can come and make a cup of tea or coffee without having to descend down to the ground floor. Previously, the only access to this room had been via the staircase, as it was a domestic staff member's room, so the access was quite hidden. One of the very few modifications that we're making to the layout of the first floor here is to actually give access to this room directly from the first floor corridor. That work has started. You can see behind me our stonemasons were here yesterday to start this work. Once they have completed the installation of the door here, their attention will turn to relaying the original terracotta floor tiles down the 18th century to mets, and then we can turn our attention to completing this room.
With the entire estate covered in snow, it's too cold for our stonemasons to work outside. So they've turned their attention inside to this room, the billiard room, which sits in the attic of the chateau under the central dome. Last year we installed the electricals, and you can see that the stonemasons have started work on the lattice. Then they can add the render, and the final touch will be the lime wash, which harmonises the colour.
When we first arrived at Château de Pernon, the purpose of the large domed room in the attic was a mystery to us. Gradually, we started to uncover pieces of an 18th century billiard table. The oldest billiard table to be discovered in France. The discovery of the billiard table led us to the original purpose of this epic room. The Marquis' billiard room.
And with the billiard table being restored, the final step will be returning it to this magnificent room, the largest room at Château de Pernon.
And of course, there's lots of other projects you're going to see us working on as well. Bedrooms, en-suites, potentially our future kitchen and laundry, a suite of hidden rooms that is to become the Chateau archives, and we cannot wait to take you on all of this with us on what is going to be a huge year ahead here at Château de Pernon.
And all of it under the supervision of our extraordinary heritage architect, Monsieur Frédéric Didier, and the work carried out by our talented artisans, using traditional materials and techniques that honour the spirit of this 18th century chateau, constructed on the eve of the French Revolution.
And as always, if you would like to follow the restoration of Château de Pernon more closely, we post an exclusive weekly video for our YouTube and Patreon members. We post frequent updates on all our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Otherwise, just hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and we will keep you updated here.